Good evening to you, friends, and welcome to tonight's version of this thing of ours. I want to say a hearty hello and a hi, silver, and a welcome to all of you for being here. And I thank you so much for being a part of this, for joining our thing. You are a critical part of the show. And those of you who are speaking along and playing along, God bless you. Some of you are absolutely insane, and I love it. Don't ever change. Don't ever change whatsoever. My friends, tonight we're going to be talking about something yet again, as a great Douglas McGregor would say, again, that I think is missed completely. And that is, very, very simply put, that is the idea of how we need to absolutely bust these people apart, destroy them. They being the enemy, the ideological, intellectual, radical left, woke enemy of these United States. Do I make myself clear? I think I do. Absolutely, positively, 100%. 100%. My friend, tonight's subject, Trump's masterstroke, the peace deal with Putin that will shock the world. Probably out of everything that is done. And these rat bastards of the radical left do not want peace with Russia. I have no idea. A nuclear power, I have no idea. I don't know. But thank God President Trump has said enough of you. We're going to go. It's just, there is such a Russophobia. It is not even funny. It is not funny. Today there was an article from The Hill, and it was a story dealing with a return of RT to the airwaves here in this country. There was a law that was passed, a law or some type of regulation under the Biden administration that basically forbade Americans from speaking, commenting, appearing on, having television programs on RT. No other station in the world or network in the world matter, whether it's France or PBS or CNN, and it was deliberately quashing and destroying our First Amendment rights because they did not want this, quote, propaganda machine to, but CNN, PBS, no problem whatsoever. And I can't believe this. And I think that is still one of the best programs, the best groups of people. I love to hear as much as possible. Today's the 75th birthday, I believe, of Sergei Lavrov. And this guy is a monster, an absolute monster. It's a different mindset. Have you heard people, Europeans or people from Asia, people from around the world? We benefit tremendously. So what I'm saying is, in the name of God, thank God, under this president, we're returning to some form of normalcy. I hope, I believe, and I trust. And I'm so glad that we're able to do it once and for all. And I say to you, dear friends, thank you for being with us tonight. We have a lot to talk about and a lot to go over. And it is going to be a barn burner. But first, my friends, this important and incredible piece of information. If you're watching this, consider yourself warned. Food prices are about to explode, and the time to prepare is now. Listen, go to preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com and secure your 4-week emergency food supply now while supplies last. With new tariffs, listen to me, with new tariffs slamming the global market and inflation spiraling, your grocery bill is about to skyrocket. When the crisis hits, shelves will be empty, and those who didn't prepare will be left desperate. History proves it. Every major economic collapse, every supply chain disruption, the first thing to go is food. You do not want to be waiting in government lines, hoping there's enough left for you and your family. This 4-week emergency food kit delivers over 2,000 calories per day, ensuring you have the nutrients you need and your family needs to weather the storm. It's fortified for survival, packed in rugged, long-term storage containers, and can last up to 25 years. So when disaster strikes, you'll be ready. Order today, and you'll get 4 free 72-hour food kits. That's 12 extra days of meals at no cost. The regular price is $346.80, but right now, you get it for just $247. Don't wait until it's too late. Go to preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com, and lock in your emergency food supply before the real panic begins. And it lasts 25 years. I'm sorry. People say, well, 25 years, you're good to go. But I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, could I please, and listen to me carefully, and see if you enjoy, as do I, this thing called human nature and human behavior, why we think certain things are funny. We laugh at certain things. We laugh at certain things. We just do this. And what's interesting to note, more than anything else, is the fact that certain subjects we find funny. And one of the things we find funny is the notion of flatulence. And by the way, this is Mr. M.R.O. Levon. Thank you. It's difficult to read M.R.O. Levon. Thank you, Mr. Levon. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But let's talk about this. This, as you know, has given me, and depending upon the humidity and the, you get a better sound. You get, there we go. Different timbre, different frequencies, spreading. People will say, it's not funny, it's childish. I plead guilty, it's funny. Flatulence, flatus, pejo, all of them are funny. I was watching, I love to watch the Steven Seagal bad movie reviews, and they always have him flatulating. Eric Swalwell, flatulating. There's something about it. I don't know what it is. Well, to prove my point, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was speaking, and she made it a point to bring up the importance of flatulence.
We need a Democratic Party that fights harder for us to.
Let me try this again. I'm sorry, I did it. Let's try this again. Listen carefully to her own words.
We need a Democratic Party that fights harder for us to.
We need a Democratic Party that.
We need a Democratic Party that fights harder for us to.
And I think she is so correct, because when it comes to farting harder, oh, you laugh. Oh, I know how you think. Oh, I'm better than this. Oh, I'm better than this. No, you're not. No, you're not. It's funny. This is peaking on memes and the like you can't believe. Why? Because people think it's funny. People think farting is funny. Now, what also people love is there's something about slapstick. Slapstick, there's something about seeing people falling down. We don't want to see people falling down and killing themselves or becoming paralyzed, but but there's something that is a bit funny about this. Let us look, if we could, for this. This was in the New York subway, and there was a man wearing a MAGA hat. He was running, and this woman behind him was chasing him, wanting to take his hat off. This is how demented this person is. Watch what happens to this man. Watch carefully in this incredible moment where justice prevails, and he, well, watch. Here she goes. Face plant. Here we go. Cow. Pow. Oh. Nasty. Hitting her straight to the wall. Here we go. Watch it again. Look at that. Waving the hat of victory. Way ahead. And she just lost her mind. Nothing was more important than her taking that hat. She probably needs corrective surgery, plastic surgery, 28th Street. And there you have it. Thank you to our friends at Dilly Meme Team. Isn't that wonderful? Now, let me ask you something. When you see this, what does this make you feel? Do you laugh? Do you laugh? Of course you laugh. Why do you laugh? Is there something wrong with you? Is there something weird about you? I think it's funny. I think it's karma. I find it what goes around comes around, whatever you want to call it. I think it is great. Because my friends, I'm telling you that I despise these people more than you could ever imagine. Okay? More than you could ever imagine. It is that simple. And these people are sick. And we have to do something to figure out what is the matter with these sick people. And what I'm telling you is simply this. You've got to scare the shite out of them. And we have to use hate crime legislation. We have to go out of our way, ladies and gentlemen, to show them who is boss. Do I make myself clear? Do I make myself clear? Do you understand what I am saying? Let me give you another one if I could, dear friends. Let me show you another one. This is a show called The Daily Show. And The Daily Show is a film recorded here in the kitchen of hell. It is on 52nd and 11th Avenue. And these people line up. It used to be there. Stewart was over here. It used to be a lot of these places. But that Trevor, I guess is nowhere. Anyway, they got this new guy. And these people they line up. Remember the Larry Wilmore show? Oh, dear God. Oh, my. Remember that Larry Wilmore? Oh, they said Larry Wilmore is so funny. Funny. In any event. So, my friends, when you probably saw this, I'm going to show this to you again. And I want you to watch this and tell me what you think about this and what you notice.
They're taking to the streets or the parking lots.
Tonight, the FBI and ATF now investigating multiple cases of possible arson targeting Teslas and Cybertrucks.
This dramatic video shows multiple cars in flames. Police say the attacker used Molotov cocktails. It's the latest in more than a dozen instances of arson and vandalism targeting Tesla.
The same suspect shot more Teslas with a gun. Tesla Cybertrucks were set on fire in Kansas City, and earlier this month, shots fired at a Tesla dealership in Oregon. Cybertrucks on fire in Seattle.
Wow, you guys like petty acts of domestic terrorism, huh?
Now, is that funny? Is that funny? I'm serious. Is that funny? Is that funny, my friends? Anybody? Maybe I don't get it. I want to spend a little time with this. Do you think that that's funny? Should anything happen because of that? Should anything happen to that? What should we do? What should be done? Today is World Down Syndrome Day. Trisomy 21 Down syndrome. And it is, and I'll explain why that's important, that's critical. If I were to go on TV and mock that, now hear me out. If I were to be on the Today Show or the Tonight Show or the Tomorrow Show or the Daily Show or whatever it is, this is the most important thing. Do you believe, and this is critical, do you believe that and I mean this sincerely, would get any information or would get any backlash if I were to make jokes about that? Do you think so? Or Gut Bucket or one of those. Do you think if they were to make a joke about that? Now you're going to say, well, no, that's terrible. Why is that different? Why? Let's say I've got a group of people, and I bring in some World Down syndrome, and they make noises or say something, or they're being incredibly rude or weird. What do you think about that? What is it that? Explain that to me. Let's assume that I find out. Let's assume that I find out about this notion or this thing called somebody who burns down an abortion clinic. You and I, let's assume, are right to lifers. We believe in the sanctity of human life, and we believe, and we believe, more importantly, that it's somehow wrong to do this. And we, on my TV show, I show people who blow up or just explode or whatever it is. Do you believe, ladies and gentlemen, do you believe that I would suffer any repercussion or that I should be held accountable if my audience, my show is laughing about people that could be hurt? What if it was a PETA? What if there were folks who believed in animal rights, who lauded, praised, howled about animals being saved and laboratory. Now, just think about it. And I could go down the list and all these things. No, there would be problems. They would go crazy. And I would say, but you don't understand something. This is a show you taped. You had a show you taped of people mocking people with Down syndrome or applauding the destruction of laboratories or whatever it is. We would catch grief. There'd be sponsors to pay. It would be the word. Oh my God. They would be calling for your head. There was a fellow years ago named the Grease Man, and everybody in talk radio knows, I think he was in D.C., and he made this joke about Martin Luther King, and he was forever absolutely run from. And I thought to myself, what was so wrong about the joke? It was a joke about Martin Luther King. I said, but this is a joke you hear on the street. It doesn't matter. I never understood this. How do you countenance this? How do you do this? Luigi Mangione. Let's assume, for the sake of argument, I believe, as you know, and I'm assuming that I'm a right to lifer. And I believe that individuals who involve themselves in abortion are sick and they're crazy and they're awful and they should be whooped. And I find out there is a major health facility or a health, whatever it is, that provides abortion care. And I dispatch and take out and assassinate the head of this, just like this fellow. What do you think people would say? Would they say, well, that's the way it goes? Clappy, yay! Let me ask you a question. Listen to me with all your can. And please, I beg you, try to answer this without making a joke. Just take off your comedic hat for just a moment. I know you're funny. God, I know you're funny. I read your quips. Hilarity on steroids. But I ask you a very serious question. Do you know of anybody on the right who has ever done this to anybody on the left? Do you? Do you know of anyone who grabbed Biden hats, who stole Biden? I'm serious. Who stole Biden signs? Who was? Do you know this? Why is it that the only people doing this are on the left? The right is supposed to be Nazis. That guy Jamal, whatever, that idiot, remember that congressman who pulled the fire? He called Elon a Nazi. We don't do this. Do you think we would ever see somebody, a conservative, a Republican, chasing somebody down like that? No. What is it about them and their spirit? What happens is that the way they are raised, the way they are cultivated, the way they are, for lack of a better word, the way they are, well, I don't know, what they consider to be okay. Give you an example. The other day we were at an event and and somebody said, and I'm listening to them. They're not really talking to us, but this woman said, yeah, I used to work in Washington, but now we got these Nazis here. And I thought, how does this person know? How does this person know that the person you're talking to is not a Trump supporter? It doesn't matter, because in our world, if you're a Trump supporter, you're a Neanderthal, and it's okay for you to anticipate that and say that. But if you were to say, well, thank God that retard Joe Biden's not there anymore, that coot, too bad he didn't confuse that cocaine for fixing it, and we don't do that. We don't. I mean, maybe you do. I don't think so. Why is it that it's always the left that shows and exhibits this kind of behavior? It's one of those things which I find absolutely, positively beyond fascinating, ladies and gentlemen. That's the part that gets me. That's the part, my friends, that get me. That's the part. You see, I don't even know where to go with this. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to listen very carefully. It is imperative, and I'm going to say this again, and I hope you don't mind, but somebody's got to get in there and say, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Don Bongino, I want you to scare the shit out of these people. I want you to get your DOJ, get your best legal minds, and I say, we're going to have fun. I want you to give me 5 counts of something we're looking at potential life in prison. They won't get it, but I mean, let these people have it, and let's treat these people like they did the J6ers. Let's take them, throw them in a DC gulag or diesel therapy. Put them on a bus, send them, because once you're in the federal system, send them to whatever. Have them say, what are you doing? Well, what are you talking about? We did this. You understand that, don't you? You remember January 6th. Remember they talk about January 6th. January 6th was they paraded without a parade permit. What did they do on January 6th? They broke some windows, if I recall correctly. The only person killed was Ashley Babbitt. I think they went into Nancy Pelosi's office and knocked over a photocopier, grabbed a lectern, sat on the thing. That's it. After having been, most of them, invited in. And the left went crazy. They could understand, why would you even ask for a part? Oh, so you want to see Law and Order? Watch this. Remember how they got the fellow with the Valkyrie helmet and the Sonny Bono jack? Remember that? They wanted this guy in jail forever. So we take these 3 people with the purple hair, and I want to horse these people. Break it off in them. Absolutely load them up. Make it to have these people say, what is happening? I mean, seriously. You picked the wrong subject, the wrong time to do this. I mean, you bring in teams of these people. You want to go above the guidelines. You have special hearings. You load them up, and then you go after civil, and then you go after their dreams, and you seize their dreams. And you just wipe the floor with these people. And you think, holy God, what are you doing? Oh, no. You were the ones this was an insurrection. This is terrorism. What if somebody was inside that car? This is a different story. Not only that, it was just, if you don't hear what I'm saying, if Pam Bondi is not right now in her office saying, okay, what do we got? How many indictments we got? Ready to go? I got a grand jury ready to go? Okay, let's go. Whoever gives me that, let's go. I want you to have names of things. The Lefevre Act. What? 1800 anti-piracy statute what? Hit them with stuff they've never, have them think, oh my God, these people are crazy. Exactly. Anybody else? Then we put on big bulletins, just like, and I'm telling you, I saw this. I saw this here in the New York area on Route 3 in New Jersey. Billboards. Do you know anybody who was in January on Washington during January 6th? Do you know anybody? You put somebody, do you know? We're giving a reward. If Elon Musk says, I'll give you $100,000 reward, $500,000, leading to the arrest and conviction. Oh, $500,000? No questions asked. All those bastards laughing at this will come out of the woodwork because they'll sell their soul for their mothers. They don't care about this. Have them say, would you calm down? Oh, we're not done yet. Billboards. Have pictures. Do you remember this? Do you know this person? Do you know of anybody else? Well, yeah. Do you know who this person is? Bring them in. Bring them in. This is part of after all, when you think about it, what's a little spray paint on the side of a Jewish temple? It's just a little German symbolism, just a little paint. You can cover it over. And they go apeshit over this. Defacing graves. It's just a grave. Oh, the guy's dead. They go crazy over that. You burn a cross. Oh, big deal. Not like it's arson. They go crazy. But this, it's different. That's a car. Well, what does it matter? It's Elon Musk. It's a place. Doesn't matter. I want to use the same attitude. I want people to think these people are crazy. And we're not done yet. And every single day, I want you to say, Jesus Christ, are you still talking about that? Oh, yeah, we don't forget. This is a new Donald Trump. Oh, absolutely. This is a brand new Donald Trump. A brand new Donald Trump who is involved in something so important right now. He wants to just do this for the hell of it. He's loving this. Absolutely. We're not done with this. We're not done with this. Liens, fines, civil lawsuits, detention, and here's the best part. I want them to be held incompetent. Let's put them in jail. Let's throw them in the loony bin. Make sure they're okay. Don't want to let them out. And I'm not done yet. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we're still talking about this. I was listening to great show, Owen Schroyer with Joe Pags. Joe Pags, hey, Joe Pags. And these guys were swatted. And Joe Pags said, if you didn't tell me what was going on, I've got a gun. I think he's in Texas. If somebody breaks into my house, I don't sit there and say, police? Most people don't think, oh, I've been swatted. Sometimes police aren't that good at identifying themselves. Sometimes they don't have neon. And if he's armed and he would have shot a police officer, this is the most serious thing in the world. It's going on right now. Anybody talking about that? No. I would have week 2, 3, swatting. You would say, Jesus, these people never forget. Oh, we don't forget. Democrats don't. See, because that's what we do. We do things for a few days and then we forget. Forget the whole thing. Forget it, whatever it is. Now, if you don't have blood in your eye, and if you don't do this just to teach people a lesson, then you're just no good to anybody. I don't know what this is about. And I love this stuff. Hey, today Tulsi Gabbard got rid of 2 DEI. Who gives a shit? I've heard about this all day long. I don't care about this. Hey, they closed down the Department of Education. That's nice. That's nice. What about these people? Well, no. What are we doing with them? The Department of Justice. Oh, my God. I would go in there and I would say, I want everybody to understand this. I'm the Attorney General. If I get the impression that any of you are half-assed, if I get the impression that you're some carryover from the prior administration, that you don't share our enthusiasm for law and order, you are so out of here, it's not even funny. There were people who died to be here. If you think, oh, and by the way, let this go out. If the judiciary thinks that you're going to load us up with injunctions and restraining orders. Let me let the word out to you. You don't know what we can do. You have no idea. This isn't the old days. Now, I know you're a federal judge and you're going to say, well, we know exactly what you're doing. There's one guy who was head of the FISA courts. You've got to let people know. We have got to. And by the way, I want everybody to know, since nobody seems to mind swatting, you don't mind a little protest. You didn't mind it when it was Judge Kavanaugh. You didn't mind it when it was Judge Alito. Where does this guy live? Let's make sure we have the laws, and 24 hours a day, or whatever is reasonable, we are going to stand there quietly in front of your home with a candle, praying for your salvation. Don't break the law. No bullhorns, no, but just have them say, oh my God, these people are crazy. Yeah. And we don't break the law. And if there is a statute, if I recall correctly, there was a statute that says you cannot go to a judge's house or a personal property to protest in order to have them change or something. Nobody cared about it. Okay, fair enough. If I happen to say, excuse me, Judge Brosmacher's here? Yes. Oh, he lives here? Oh, well, actually, we're protesting that guy, his neighbor, who happens to be across the street from you. What do you mean? Well, the law says I can't protest you, the judge. I'm not protesting you. I'm protesting him. It looks like I'm protesting you, and we might sometimes get confused and be looking right at you 12, 13, 14 hours a day. But it's really the other guy we're protesting, not you. You want to play that game? You want to play that game? We've got to have people ready to go. Oh, we will go. We will drive you nuts. All of a sudden, you get about 1,000 people circling in front of the Daily Show theater, demanding all of the advertisers and everybody. You think these people are nuts because we don't protest. They protest. They protest. They burn things out. We're not going to do that. Never violence. Never. And Elon can say, listen, we're going to do this. You can meet a lot of people. You know, all those excitements when people who went to various Trump rallies and Trump. Yeah, that same group. We bring them up. And we have these people think, wow. Wow. You want to dox people? You want to SWAT people? Okay. Okay. And if you can tell me, it's like, hey, Elon, yes. Do you know anybody in Silicon Valley who can trace calls? Yeah. Well, you know, they might have used those Google calls where they did. Oh, no, I'll find out. You sure? Yeah. We're going to get somebody. You sure about that? And then we're going to charge them by making a terrorist attack. And then we're going to also give them civil fines to charge them for the money it took to send all those people out there. Oh. And we have their pictures and billboard companies. This is who these people are. Look at who they are. Look at these three people will be doing 25 years for throwing incendiary devices, blowing up Teslas, arson. 25 years. They'll be on Social Security when they get out. And you want them to say, damn, who are these people? It's the new Trump group. Because up till now, you thought we were just a bunch of people who sat around and just sang Lee Greenwood songs and hey. Yeah, well. You know that guy, what's his name from Brooklyn? You know the guy who talks like this? Hey, how you doing? Hey, he's the artist. I don't know, Joe Barbado, or I have no idea what it is. You know, he's funny. Hey, yous guys. Hey, you talk about my president? Yous crazy bastards. You not doing it. We're great at that. Great at performance art. Oh, you got that guy, Gut Bucket. Oh, God, he's so funny. I don't want the funny. I just want people to look on and go, what the hell is this? There's 1,000 people here. Yeah, I saw, absolutely. 1,000 people. Yep. And they're going crazy. They want you to. This mentality. And I want Pam Bondi to go and say, now listen, I want you to understand something. We know who's who. Don't think you can show up to work real quiet and sit there. We know who you are. We know how long you've been here. If you're a lifer, a career person, and if you don't see, now see, not everybody in the DOJ is in it, because they do stuff like, civil and, forfeiture. Okay, fine. That's okay. But I'm talking about this part here. And it starts with the U.S. Attorney's Office, Southern District. And let me also tell you something. This, for years, everybody had, pardon my French, a hard-on for the mob, the mafia. They loved it. They went crazy. Oh, my God. Viddy the Nose, Sally Aces, that. And in the weirdest way, they thought if their name was, Angelo Demetrio, they say, but the nicknames made them more attractive. I want that all to change. We'll get to you in a moment. The mob is dead. Okay? If you want to go after the Albanians, the Chinese, the Russians, the Cherokee. I bet you the Apache mob is better. We have to reprioritize how this thing works. Absolutely positively. We have to do a mindset different. We have to get really tough. And I know we go berserk. Well, the governor of Maine today, they signed a program that reversed, the transgender. I am so sick of transgender. I've had it. Okay? I'm not saying it's important or not important. I'm not saying that. But I'm over it. I'm over it. I want people to say, who is this? This is the new and improved Trump. Absolutely. This is the new and he's got to get tough. There's a new guy who was booted from another guy who was booted because he said something pro-Palestinian or against Russia. Against Israel. Did you see this? Did you see this, fella? Now I'm going to try something which I know I shouldn't, but I'm going to try my very best to see if I can get something out of you. His name, where is he? Yeah, we got that Maine University. Yeah. How about this good guy? I like him. Our buddy Djokovic. He's still there. Remember the whole nonsense he went through with the whole thing? Oh, here we go. Student visa for Mamadou Tal, who called for the destruction of America, is revoked. The Trump administration has revoked the visa of Cornell graduate student Mamadou Tal after he called for the destruction of the U.S., celebrated Hamas's October the 7th attacks, and declared every single Zionist is a sick individual while he takes his cue from, okay, by the way, now, let me ask you a question. First of all, nobody gives a damn what happens to him. He is called a damn fool. Now, there's one thing I'm going to say. You are a damn fool. My friend used to say, I may be a fool, but I'm not a goddamn fool. This guy thought, now, he reads the paper. He's a Cornell, Ivy League. Yeah, Cornell's kind of like that, Ivy League. Always the forgotten. Like Penn. Yeah, Ivy. Brown. Dartmouth. Yeah, you always think Harvard and Yale. Columbia, sort of. But anyway, so this schmuck thinks, I'm going to go on. I'm going to say death to America. Oh, that's good. What's your name again? Where you from? Okay, keep talking. Israel. Okay, Palestine. October's up. Oh, you like? Okay, good. Well, my bags are packed. I'm ready to go. Now, before we get to the issue of whether it's right or wrong or whatever, you got to ask yourself, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Seriously. Well, let me tell you something. Here's what I would do in this particular case. But first, this. Listen to me. Are you drowning in debt? You're not alone. New reports show the average person is buried under $8,674 in credit card debt, with total consumer debt soaring to a staggering $104,215, including mortgages, auto loans, student loans, and credit cards. It's a financial crisis, and without a real solution, many will keep spiraling deeper. That's why I want to introduce you to a powerful secret weapon that has helped so many regain control. They specialize in consolidating all your debts into one manageable monthly payment and even negotiate a settlement so that you can pay less than you actually owe. Think about this. They've already settled over $275 million in debt. Think about that. Helping people break free in an average of just 28 months. I've personally recommended their services to friends and clients who needed a way out, and now I'm bringing it straight to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. So don't wait. Book a free consultation today, right now, at NoDebtWithLionel.com. That's NoDebtWithLionel.com. The link is right under the title here. It's time to take back control of your finances. Act now. Get out of debt and start living the life you deserve. Don't you want to ask somebody, but before we get to the issue of whether you get the right to say anything, what are you doing? Seriously. I guess I would be the world's worst, public advocate if I'm saying, why are you doing this? What are you accomplishing? Do you know what's happening here? You can beat the rap, but you can't beat the riot. Why do people do this? I've got a right to do this. Well, maybe you do, but they don't think you do. That's wrong. I'll bet it is. Why are you doing this? I like when people say, there's these case law that says you can flip off a cop and you can say these things to a cop. And in the old days, somebody would say, I have a right to do this. Well, that's right, but I wouldn't do this if I were you. You don't understand. I know my rights. Now, if I stood there next to him and I said, okay, you say something, death to Israel, okay? And then I say, death to it. I'm a citizen and he's, and then go ahead. October the 7th. Go ahead. And I repeat exactly what he says. Now, they might want to, I don't know if they want to, let's say I'm a student, but they wouldn't do anything with me. They wouldn't charge me with anything because they'd say, well, whatever. Plus, it used to be, this is where campus is, and college is where people say stupid things like that. Okay. So how come I can get away with it? Again, I might be able, because they could argue that under university law, under university rules, I'm being obstreperous and whatever it is. But there is something weird about something that just because somebody's from another country, he can't say it, but I can. Now, if I said fire in a crowded theater or theater in a crowded fire, that's wrong no matter what. So there's something intellectually that says, doesn't seem right to me. Doesn't seem right. Doesn't seem right that he can say that. Now, why you're doing this, I got to ask you this question. If I went to school in Italy, let's say Rome, Padua, wherever the hell I am, I don't think I'd be saying death to Italy. I wouldn't do this. Now, you could argue you have the right to say it. I'm sure I do. But when do people realize that you're an idiot? Do you know how many people get carted away in criminal cases because they mouth off to a cop? You have any idea? And what they did was really not against the law. It's not against the law to mouth off to a cop. It's just stupid. I think somebody would say, hey, listen, folks, do me a favor. Yeah. Hold off on the death to America thing for now. You got a couple more, what it is. Why don't you graduate and then maybe come back and then do the death to America after you're done. But just not right now or before you get a job or whatever. But it's not right, You are so right about that. It's the Jewish lobby. I'll bet you're right about that too. But so what? That's the way it is. So you go ahead and do it. Years ago, I was on a show. The last time I was on, Joe and Meager. It was the morning. It was the Morning Joe, and it was a time when it was during that. What was his name? Oh, what was the name of that? Remember the God, the Muslim. Remember the knife? What's his name? They had this French. It was what was the name of that? Charlie Hebdo. Charlie Hebdo. That's it. Charlie Hebdo. And there was a thing. Je suis Charlie. That's it. Je suis Charlie. And people were saying, Jesus? No, je suis, I am Charlie, or whatever it was. So I had a friend of mine who was an artist, commercial artist, very interesting. And I was on the Joe and Meager show, Zika virus. And I said, it is absolutely unconscionable for the idea of somebody going and killing somebody because of a picture of Muhammad or whatever it is. It's terrible. I don't give a damn if you draw a picture of this guy or that guy or a picture of Jesus. I mean, you can do it. It's ridiculous. And they were like this. I said, however, knowing what it is, when you do that, and these sick bastards say, we will come and we will stick a knife in you if you do this or say this, and you do it. Are you stupid or what? Now, you're right, but you're dead. You're dead right. You're dead. My friend, the artist, went berserk. And I said, well, what did I say that was wrong? He said, well, you said it was okay. I said, I didn't say it was okay. I didn't. We had a friend of ours one time who left his wallet in a car, unlocked, his wallet. And I think he had why people have their social security card on them, I have no idea. But anyway, he left it. And people said, what did you leave your car? He goes, I should be able to leave my car. Well, you're right about that. You're absolutely right. But you're a goddamn fool. You left your wallet in a car. So what I'm saying is, and I think I made my point to the point of exhaustion. Who are these people? Why are they doing this? This is the way it is. It's not right. It's not wrong. You want to call that guy the N-word? Go ahead. Go ahead. And you'll say, well, I should be able to do it because black people can do it. Go ahead. I don't know why there's a double standard. What? Because if you're black, you can use the N-word? Be my guest. Do you agree with me? I think you've got a good point. I think you're crazy. That's the way it is. It's like sometimes there are animals, there are people. There are these people. Have you ever heard these? I love Joe Rogan. And there's a guy he has on from the, he goes into the Amazon. And I was there and a jaguar came and I fished and these these crocodiles and we went and they will rip open, these are the what am I trying to say? The villagers. They will rip open your guts to see what you eat. And they filleted people. I mean, and he goes through this. He goes through this whole thing. And Joe Rogan is saying, wow, that's interesting. Why do you do it? Well, I've got kind of an adventure. I'm saying, and I want to go on the show and say, you are a goddamn fool. You are so, if anything happens to you, I will not grieve for you for a moment. These people live there. Leave them alone. Steve Irwin was an idiot. Well, of course, he died with a stingray, but I was so sick. I was like pulling for the animal. Show him who's boss. I believe in rule. I believe in this thing as law and order. I don't I don't know why people do this. Here's one for you. You know the astronaut, Sonny, what's her name? Oh, and Trump's going to give her what, $1,500 for the overtime? What? You know she's out of her tree. She's never going to be the same. Her bones are going to be like powder, and she's, anyway. So I want to ask her, what did you do this for? What exactly? What was the purpose of this? Why did you do this? What was the why in the name of God did you do this? What are you trying to accomplish? Well, I'm an astronaut. What are you doing? The other day, Mrs. Ellen, I remember how she was talking about going, and here's how you go number 2. What? And she's talking about a video because, hi, kids. She looked like, Elsa Lanchester with her hair like this. And she goes, here's how you go number 2. And people want to know that, because, of course, we always want to, and you got to make sure that you don't want these things flying around. I'm thinking, did she say this, yes or no? She said, here are some wipes. She's talking about that. And she says, you don't want these mohongs, flying around, these struns flying around. And then they had, and here's where you go number 1, and it was a suction device where I guess you could. And I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing? What are we learning? Tell me, seriously, what are we learning? If anything happens to you, you're going to say, well, at least in the old days, we went to make tang. We learned how to get tang. Remember that? I have no sense of adventure. I think people are just idiots. And that's why, circling back, if I catch you, you're trying to blow up a Tesla. I said, well, you really must have wanted to go there. There is I told you this story years ago. There was this wonderful cartoon I had on my refrigerator for years. It was from the Everglades in Florida, Okeechobee, and it was like a pup tent or something. And outside there was this. It was almost like that, that hee-haw scrawl, that, and it said, "You better really want to come in here." And there's something about that. You better really want to come in here. I have this idea that there's this norm, that there's this, don't mess with people. Just leave them alone. There was a period of my life when I was feeling rather adventurous. Did skydiving twice, did a tandem once, and an AFF level 1, solo. Then I said, I think I'm done with that. Then there was a period, then we were into this, it was called Top Gun USA. We fly these single engine Marquettis and do all this, with these F-16 pilots retired. And it was kind of fun. And then I said, okay, that's enough. Adrenaline, it was fun. But it started to hit me as like, life is a very precious thing. And I'm getting no thrill out of risking it. I have no interest. I know people will say this, and I argue all the time with them. I think if you ride a motorcycle, you're crazy. It's a donor cycle. You're crazy. It's not because of your riding prowess, but these idiots that are, all right, fine. So I just believe this. I'm that ant. Have you ever seen a lion? I think it's, and I did hear this one time on either, I think it was Lex Friedman. He had the MMA guy, they were talking about, he knew a lot about this, that tigers were really worse than lions because they would go after you. They would have packs. They were predators. They could see at night, their teeth. And Lex Friedman kept saying, but the ape, the gorilla is smarter. He says, what do you mean smarter? He's a little bit smarter. He's still a gorilla. Well, he's smarter. He might be able to figure out a twig with a, make a tool, but no, he's not going to go after you. A gorilla, you got to run into him. What about a bear? You got to run into them. They don't travel in packs. They sleep. And I listened to them. I said, it's very interesting. And the tiger is always telling you, no hard feelings. You better really want to come in. Don't come after me. Okay, you got it. You got it. So what I want people to understand something, and it's one of the main reasons I'm ambivalent about this. Imagine if one day we said, on January the 1st, 2026, in the state of New York or wherever it is, if you were found guilty of hurting a child in a variety of different ways, we will take this soldering iron and this number 9 axle grease. I don't know what number 9, I've always used that. I've always said number 9 axle grease. I don't know why. If there are numbers, I have no idea. But it sounds good, doesn't it? You take this thing, like why would I want to even care? And I will cauterize your cloaca. And then I'm going to say, remember, January 1st. So whatever you do, get it out of your system now, because January 1st, your ass is mine, literally. And then after it's done, you have this person come out on TV, and he's just shaking, wearing like a white thing. And he just says, whatever you do, don't do this in the state of New York. It's just not, whatever kicks you, do not. These people are serious. Just like the Amazon tribes, like the cheetahs and the jaguars. And just like what I want Trump to be. I want him to scare the shit out of people. And that's not wrong. That is not wrong. So let me also say something. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, MRO Levon, you hold the distinction of being my sole Super Chat contributor. Thank you. Thank you. You are it. And it means a lot to me. It's a moment of distinction. I appreciate that immensely. I've spoken to you for 57 minutes, and you made it worthwhile. And I thank you for that. I thank you. It's the best $5 I've ever met in my life. But I do it out of love. I don't do it just because I do it for the love. It's just like topless dancers do it because of the love of music, and pole dancing is kind of in their heart. My friends, please follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Please also make sure you follow the sister version of this called Lionel Legal. I dropped one off for you. Interesting phraseology. Regarding how we got to get nasty with these people. And make sure you are subscribed here to Lionel Nation. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious night. Thank you so much. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you for the peace you're going to bring to the world. What he and Sergei Lavrov and Vladimir Putin are doing, thank God adults are winning. Thank God. Until we see each other tomorrow, my friends, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Dad.